Good morning, beautiful and wonderful people. Okay, well, this is something different than gardening I've got to do. You all know we've got a camper, and last year, I don't know, I think we went to 2 or 3 meetups. We went to the lake a few times, and we've used this camper for quite a while. We've had it since, I think, 2015. It's made a lot of road trips to a lot of NASCAR races. We've gone through a set of tires on it, so we've put some big wear and tear in this thing. We've gone a lot. But this year, we have a lot of stuff we're going to do again this year. So we've got maintenance, we've got repairs, we got things to replace, things I'm going to update. And start out is, number one thing is my steps. Left side steps are broken. Actually, I started this out yesterday, the repair. I was not going to videotape it because I already had in mind how I'm going to fix that side right there. And what happened was you would step on it and it would drop. Literally, this whole thing would drop down here. They broke late last year. Okay, well, this side is loose also. Let me try to see if you can't see it. See that? That's nothing. But that's a major problem. Okay, let me take you down here and show you how I fix this one. And then we're going to go over here and try to figure out how we're going to fix that one. Okay, what we got, I got my handheld light. You can see that bracket right there, which connects to the frame behind you, the main frame. And then it connects to this panel right here, which is separate from the stairs. So the factory puts this panel in, and then the stairs slides in and gets bolted in right here. So the factory problem is here, right there. Okay, well, I happen to have this L bracket that goes right there. I've got several of them. I ended up them from when they built my garage. They had those left over laying around. So what I ended up doing was, I was able to, let me take that nut loose. That came off, no problem. The bolt stayed in. I found another bolt. It's a locking nut. And I actually drilled into my L bracket and put this place back in here. I put the jack, my floor jack, it's hard to do, I'm laying on the ground, under here, pushed this all the way back up, nice and tight, installed my L bracket, my locking nuts, washers, and pull it nice and tight, and this will never break again. This L bracket is probably twice as thick as what this metal is. Nice and strong, we're not going nowhere, it's fixed nicely. I actually used, it's a square hole like this that's back here, and that's what I put my bolt through there. But now let's go take a look at my other side, and it's a bad shape. Alright, I'm going to move this kind of slow so I don't lose you guys. Okay, look at this bolt. Alright, the bolt is sideways, it's not straight, okay? I can actually take my socket and spin this, and the whole bolt just spins like it's stripped out. Something happened to it. It's not sitting there. It's never, the lock washer has never been crushed. So this bolt is spinning. Now, oh, I'm going to try, let me try to move this piece of plastic stuff here. This matting. It's going to be very hard for you to see it. Can you all see there's a square tubing right here, without a light, it's hard to do. That's an aluminum tube. That's the aluminum frame of the camper. Okay, the bolt goes straight through there, and on top is the nut, the bolt. I don't know how it's held in, but if you can look back there without me turning you off, can you see the split in the aluminum? That's where the bolt's at. Something happened. The aluminum square tubing is bulging toward the camera. Something happened there with this. The problem I have is, like I said, this right here spins. I can't take it out. I can't move it in. I can't do nothing. So I had cut this all out to try to see what really is back in here. You can't see nothing. All I can tell you is I can see the tube is split a little bit, like I think because that is spinning. Maybe you can see it better if I zoom way out here. You can see a tall split on top. You cannot get a mirror in there to look back up in the air, can't do nothing. Alright, let me show you where this bolt is outside. Okay, and the bolt is somewhere probably right about right here. Okay, that's where the bolt sticks. Let me close this door. So remember that line. The bolt is probably right about right here, and the metal tubing, square tubing, is back here, which probably that is attached to along with these things. So you can't even get to the bolt. I'm kind of lost of what to do. All right. So I'm looking at this. Let me get this all open. So in other words, that bolt head is back behind here. Remember, there's a square tube in here. This camper is made out of, I can't remember, 1.5 inch square tubing of aluminum. So I have an idea. I know I'm going to take these, there's 3 screws, 1, 2, 3 out. Imagine that's just a slip so you don't trip onto this. Get that out of there. I do know if it's like house thresholds, a lot of them, the screws come from the back side, from this side in to this on both sides. And then I got a feeling there's got to be some kind of a glue or something under here, I'm thinking, or maybe a rubber seal. Yeah, I'll take this out and I'll probably jam something under here and try to break the screws to try to pull this up. And all right, remember I showed you that aluminum, that bracket I had? Okay, here it is. Here's another one. I'm thinking maybe, let me kneel down here. I've got the frame, the same frame that I put that bracket on right there, but I'm thinking of taking this bracket, turning it around on this side, okay, loosen this up, bend it out a little bit, do this, go up as high as I can, which is probably that's probably about as high as I can go, put it in here, and then drilling a bolt with this off, go straight through the floor, come out the bottom, attach this to that, and that should draw and suck that up. But so instead of putting the bracket this way like I did over here, I'm going to turn around and go this way up here. The key is getting this off without damaging it, so nobody knows I ever took this off.
That's all it says. And I've been published to say, listen, if you want to do an elective surgery out here, you're going to pay for it, go knock yourself out. But when I'm going to use taxpayer dollars, and we're certainly not going to let it happen, to get cigarettes or get tattoos, and less than 100 of these gold coins are available.
Already cut through. Now I'm just going to try to pick it up easily.
7618, and you're guaranteed a $5 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. With extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins
there it goes.
are still in uncirculated condition.
I got to watch what I'm doing on this side. Make sure I don't damage nothing, as I do have to get that raised up. I don't care if those screws break on the back side. There should be 2. There's one there and there. Right there and there. I don't care if they pull out, because what I'll just do is take some screws and go through the top of this, because that metal beam is right here, and I'll screw straight down. Alright, we got it out of there. It's all out. Now, what we've got to do is, I have to remove some of this wood. The deal is, you don't ever want to put a bolt through here with a washer with wood between metal, because if that crumbles and turns to dust, that means we're back to having this loose again. We don't want that. So basically, imaginary, this is going to be up here. So in a way, I've got to figure out, you know, this is what's going to be upside down up here. I got to figure out where my bolt's going to go through, and it's going to be back in this area. I have a feeling somewhere back right in that area. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to go ahead. I'm pretty sure there's metal here. That's where the frame is, all the way through. See? So I'm going to cut a section out of this wood right here, enough for where this washer will end up going through eventually through there and set on the aluminum frame. Alright, as you can see, I had to remove the stair assembly. Big thing is, the bolt that had to come up, the drill, the stairs was in the way for drilling, so I had to get them out of the way. But let me get this upside down. I've got my nice bolt in here. It's pretty much tight, we're real close, but I wanted to get that close where I need to drill through. There's the center hole that went through all the way up top. And that bolt's connected to this big bracket, and this big bracket is welded to the frame. This thing is chintzy. I mean, it's nothing. Look, I'm moving it. So, being I can never do nothing with this bolt. Never, because it's not moving. Even if I was to cut it off, then what do I do? The rest of the bolt's still in there. So I had to leave it alone. Alright, let's go back up top. One thing I'm going to tell you. This aluminum framing is chintzy shnikes. Bad. It's not even as thick as this washer. It's probably half that size. You sneeze, you'll dent it. So, being it's so weak, I didn't want a chintzy washer to lay there. I wanted something that was going to lay from one side of that beam to the other. I found some of my garden spikes for my landscaping and stuff. I cut that to fit in here. And as you can see, this end's laying on that edge, that's laying on that edge. And it acts like a washer. There we go. So now, let's go and stick that bolt all the way through. It's all the way through. I'll pick it up a little bit because we got to put the nut back on it and get it tight, and we can tighten this all together. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this up as much as we can. Alright, we're tight. That's good. Now let's go up top. Here we go. With that head right there, I probably need to go ahead and maybe notch that part of aluminum out right there. And that's it. And then that should sit right down on top. Okay, we got it all back together again. Everything's nice and tight. I re-tightened all the bolts everywhere. This works good. If you remember, it used to move all the time. We're not moving. I mean, just like barely something. That's it. We've got this back to where it needs to be. So, what we're going to do now, okay, this is the under front. This part you see here hits here. So if you look, if you see what I'm saying, there's a lip. So all the water runs down past that. So the main possibilities of leaking anywhere, it has a door seal, but it's right down through here on both sides. If you look, I've got that notch cut already. And there we go. You look nice all the way around. Everything good. I got this drilled out for some screws I'm going to put in down the center. And that is directly on top of this beam right here. So what we're going to end up doing is I'm going to put some silicone right through here. Cover that up. I'm going to put some silicone right across right here underneath. Same thing across right here underneath. Let it ooze through a little bit. Then I'll set that on and I'll do the final seal after I go ahead and put the screws down. Screw it in there. Alright, we're done. It's back together complete. Good seal on everything. Looks good. I used gutter aluminum silicone. This is aluminum. That's aluminum. And I had it brand new tube. And that's what I used. I put a glob underneath both sides. And then I went ahead and just put a bead right across the top. So we're good. It's all back together. Looks good. Everything works perfect. Yeah. This one's done. Took a little longer than I wanted to take. Well, one thing down. I have a lot to do in this camper to get ready for our trips this year. I figure it's going to take me a week to go through the whole thing. Alright, we're going to go. Thanks for watching and thanks for supporting me. Y'all have a great day.